another school shooting in America. The latest scene of bloodshed and sorrow is Abundant Life Christian School. That's a private K through 12 school in Madison, Wisconsin. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that a 17-year-old female student opened fire today, killing a teacher and another teenage student. The shooter was later found dead in the school. Right now, 2 critically wounded students are fighting for their lives in the hospital, while 4 others are being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. President Biden called the shooting shocking and unconscionable, but it is part of a uniquely American epidemic. Guns are the leading cause of death of children, teens, and young adults in this country. CBS's
Hey, turn me up. Turn my headphones up. Turn my headphones up. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is the midweek report news break edition. And this is not going to be a long one at all. We are only talking about what you see on the screen. The good old American tradition. Now, what they like to do is present it to you one way when it's convenient, and when it's inconvenient, present it to you another way. But at the end of the day, this is the American tradition. The country was founded on the tool that they love the most, which is the gun. And they start them young. And these are the kids that they tell you they needed to protect from CRT. Well, we are here yet again for another school shooting. Mass shooting. Multiple deletion. But no societal indictment. Matter of fact, on this particular one, I haven't even heard as much as anybody say mental illness. But I guess there's a reason. So they like to beat around the bush. And if you have noticed with the coverage of this particular mass shooting, the instantaneous cry for gun reform and doing something about guns and when are these kids going to feel safe? Nah, we're not hearing a lot about that on this one. And I have some suspicions on why. But this is why over here you get the truth and we make societal indictments. But we substantiate them with evidence, fact, compiled through history and to the present. So before we get into it, if you could, please hit that like button, share this out on your social media. If I actually can get this to act right, because something was going on with StreamYard, so you probably noticed a lot of your content creators that are normally streaming on YouTube and X at the same time didn't. And it was reason because the software, the studio was not allowing us to set up the live stream. So hopefully you're watching this on X as well tonight, because we wasn't able to do it last week for whatever reason. I don't know. But hopefully you are able to tune in here. And so with that being said, that's why you need to come over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded or a video premieres. And so, you'll be in the loop, because there's other videos that will air during the week that will not be on X. And considering how some of this software has been communicating, it's not a guarantee that these will make it on X either. So I just want you to know and be prepared now to come on over here to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Also, if you would like to support even further, you could do so by becoming a member by hitting the join button. And with that being said, peace, power, blessings, protection be upon all of you members. Thank you for being members of this channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for the supporters and donations of this channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. I definitely, just words can't express. I appreciate all of you. So thank everybody for tuning in again this Wednesday evening. Let's get into it. So with this particular young lady, she is Natalie Samantha Rapnoe, or Rapnow. And, it's like, again, I'm talking about the coverage of this particular school shooting that isn't getting the normal coverage that you're used to seeing. And it's kind of interesting. But one of the things that just happened, like as of today, they are investigating the parents. Now, that's happened before. It happened in the Ethan Crumley case. And now that both the parents have gotten charged, I believe one, if not both parents, are convicted now. I know at least one is. So it looks like that is going down with this. And so this is why I wanted to put the entire family on the screen for you. Because this go around, it's not a young white male. It's a young white woman. Subsequently, has a lot of the same thinking and sentiments of some white nationalists, and even previous school shooters, namely the Columbine kids. She's very much patterning herself after that. Here's the other issue, and again, these are just the pictures I could find, so these are the pictures that you're going to see it turning up on the internet. Now, the one picture that they're trying to really push out there right now, for whatever reason, is the girl with her dog. So she's young. It's her and her dog, and that's the picture that, first pictures are surfacing. They're not showing all of the pictures more recently of her actually shooting a gun. Instead, no, let's show some old pictures of her hugging her dog. So the coverage of this is crazy. And I think what they want to get away from is the overt, blatant racial overtones in what she did. Now, of course, we know when Black people aren't available, the next best minority will do. And so in this case, that seems to be the case with at least the teenager that she deleted, have not heard about the teacher or the teacher that was originally supposed to be there. Because according to what I've heard so far from reports, the teacher that is reported to be deleted was actually a substitute. So it wasn't even supposed to be there. So it's very interesting that all of that took place on the day that they were gone. And, others are injured. So as far as I know, right now, the death toll still stands and sits at 3. And I guess you could hope that it stays there. Here's another interesting thing about this. The police were notified, the authorities were notified in a timely fashion because a second grader had her phone and had the wherewithal to call police. So she called 911. And they were able to get there lickety split. So there's this thing that they have going on here in my state, and especially in my city, to where they keep pushing this notion of banning cell phones in the class. They are trying to take your child's phone away from you or in them in class. And I look at situations like this. This came to a halt because of a 7-year-old or 8-year-old who had their cell phone and recognized danger was there. That idea of taking the phones out of these kids is a novel idea in theory. But this is a Christian private school, and nonetheless, a kid walks in there shooting up the place. Your child needs their phone, period. And I hope this would serve as a lesson for the people who have been really pushing that idea. Because it's like, okay, your kid in that circumstance, even if they are safe, but stuck on property until whatever's done is going on, don't you want to know they're safe real time? And then also know their location real time? I would as a parent. So whoever is pushing that idea, I'm suspecting that comes from the same kind of crowd that this young lady was basically radicalized by. And that is feminists. Feminism radicalized this kid. White woman feminism. And it really actually still sounds like a lot that is used in Black women's society and Black feminist society, should I say. And I wonder if they understand the disdain that their counterparts have for Black people. And I see how a lot of people like, we feel betrayed because you guys just still voted for Trump. That's lightweight. But it serves a point and purpose. You weren't betrayed, you betrayed yourselves. If you thought that this girl's upbringing or anyone like her would change. Here's the thing, when you have an anti-Black school shooter, what's up with the parents? These parents, they're younger than me. So why does their child have so deep hate for Black folk? That says that it was starting somewhere. Right? So let's take a listen and a look at the press conference I think this might be the most recent one.
It makes my heart skip a beat to think about that. Now we teach our kids if something's wrong, call what 911, and so the child was able to do that. Give me your second question again, please.
Yeah, when it comes to terms of parents talking to their children about this, specifically about what happened today, but then also, calling 911.
Yep. So the message for parents, for me, is simple. It's the same thing that I would tell my children. Listen to the instruction of the adults in the room. Run, find somewhere to hide, find some cover, find something that may shield or guard you. But the most important thing is listen to the adults in the room because they've gone through the training to perhaps keep everyone as safe as they possibly can.
No doubt.
Chief, there's been a lot of misinformation online, including from prominent Moms for Liberty activists in Wisconsin, claiming that the shooter was transgender, which is a reaction that we see across the country in wake of mass shootings, to claim that trans people are dangerous. Can you respond to that directly in regards to this?
Yeah, I don't know whether Natalie was transgender or not. And quite frankly, I don't think that's even important. I don't.
He wouldn't. And of course, he wouldn't think it's important because he's a policeman. Of course, it's not important to him. However, those same people like we were speaking about yesterday who were upset at Caitlin Clark, that matters to them because in the midst of them being upset and revealing themselves upset about Caitlin Clark, this also talks about the hateful nature of oneself, one's community. There's a hate built in. I gotta hate something there. And that's a little weird when you really get down to thinking about it. And so it's so much so that at certain young ages, you start training children, young boys, young girls, to go shoot at something. This is the life's training. This is part of life. This is why you see all of these kids up here with these big adult rifles, because they're being trained on how to use them at that age. What other messages or key tutelage would be coming into play at that age with this teaching? You would have a lot of time to really teach the purpose of what you're doing, right? So then we see these things play out and these people speak for themselves, and people all of a sudden start acting like they don't know why the person did what they did. Yeah, you do. Admitting that part sucks, but yeah, Columbine, the two kids, Dylan Klebold, and I can't remember the other one, they were upset at the black male players. I believe that's what that song Pumped Up Kicks is about. Because they were upset at how the athletes were getting white girls. All the other kids with their pumped up kids better run, run, run. Outrun my gun or something they saying. Yeah, all the other kids with their pumped up kicks. So for those who don't even understand what pumped up kicks is, there used to be the shoes that you pumped up. I think they were made by Reebok. They had a big old basketball on the tongue, and you could pump those shoes up, and they would fill up with air around the ankle to I guess they were supposed to help you like land better when you dunked. And so when you hear a song like Pumped Up Kicks, that's what that song's about. I'm sure a lot of people probably heard that and was like, I don't understand what that's about. It's just a song. Who got pumped up kicks? It was all the black kids. So if you're black singing that song, like, I like that song, just know they sing it about deleting your children. And these little loons that are out here, see, this is how you perpetuate something in society. You just listen to the melody and don't understand what the hell they're saying. You probably heard that song a million times in the background of a store or so. All the other kids with their pumped up kids and run. You're not even listening to what they're saying. All the other kids with their pumped up kicks better run faster than my bullets. That's literally the hook. And y'all don't know what they singing about because there's a whole group and just this young generation, they know what they worshiping. But a lot of our youth don't know what they're on. This is what type of time they on. And it's been passed on all of these years. See, that's the tradition right there. And then you celebrate the tradition with a song. So let me put it to you in perspective. All those other ends with their pumped up kids better run faster than my gun. Now does it make sense to you? All those other nigs with their pumped up kicks better run faster than my bullets. Yeah, don't ever catch yourself singing that crap again. If y'all caught yourselves, just so you know, that's what they talking about. First time I heard that song, I was like, who the hell is this? It's like, do you know what they're singing about? Because I'm well aware enough to know, because I know what they were doing it for. So I knew exactly what that was about. So yeah, for those who didn't know, that song, I think it's even been redone. So you got one group that's popular doing it, and it's been redone from another group. That is a Black Death jingle. It's a Black Death celebration jingle, by the way. So if you're in a store, you might want to tell them folks, turn that shit off. Anyway, let's hear more from this officer who's going to play dumb on like he don't know what she was on and what her parents is on. That's why they're being investigated. And I would have to say the reason why the media is being so quiet about this is there must be some ties to some well-known supremacist organizations here, because they're going, and also law enforcement, because they're going out of their way to drop this story out of the mainstream all of a sudden. And this is a whole school shooting.
I don't think that's important at all. I don't think that whatever happened today has anything to do with how she or he or they may have wanted to identify. And I would.
The reason why they asked that question though is because they're trying to use that bully angle. Like, well, maybe she was bullied. No, she wasn't. She's the bully. Just like the Kaylee girl that got her self beat up and hurt jumping on that black girl, bullying that little Haitian girl.
Wish people would kind of leave their own personal biases out of this. We have people who showed up to work today to help kids be better who are not going home. And we have lost members of our community who are children, including the shooter. So whether or not they were transgender is something that may come out later. But for what we're doing right now today, literally 8 hours after a mass shooting in a school in Madison, it is of no consequence at this time. And so I would encourage people to be responsible with your social media. I won't go into some of the things that I've seen on social media.
Well, speaking of social media, here's her father's. That's the Facebook page. There's a reason why the parents are being investigated now. Let's not play. And so I guess we'll start here. And then I want to hit this article, but this is to be one of her last posts, or her last post on X. It reads, "Women are the only hope for this wretched world, but even women have been brainwashed by moids." I'm not sure what moids means. Moids for too long. They've internalized the patriarchy and turned on each other. always begging for male approval and validation. It's disgusting. I realize the truth. Men are irredeemable. Wow. Rad Fem Hitler was in effing vindicated now. I guess is being effing vindicated now. They can't be reformed or redeemed. They're a effing scourge upon the earth. The only solution is to total exterminate them. I guess totally exterminate them. And every foid, whichever that means. See, moid and foid, okay, I see M and then F, so I guess that's females in some point, but I'm sure she's using these words for the specific connotation that they mean, and I don't know what that means yet. Something gives me the sneaking suspicion that might be in lovers, but goes on to read, who worships these effing parasites. Every single male must be wiped out, from babies to the elderly. Only then can women be free to create a new world. I'll be a pioneer. I'll be the first to take the first step. I don't care if they're fathers, brothers, husbands, sons, teachers, police, and especially niggas or politicians. I've been craving to delete them all. I've been craving? So let me just pause right there. I've been craving. This is an internal deep hatred coming from a teenage white girl. How do you hate Black people so much that you are internally craving to extinguish the life? Kind of makes you wonder why so many out of date white women like Elizabeth Warren are spitting, cussing mad of Roe v. Wade being overturned. Maybe it's because they crave to see Black people wiped out, considering the numbers that they know they look at for Planned Parenthood, right? Oh, but it's all about your women's bodies and this and that, right? No, it's about this. See, it's a way darker thing than anybody ever wants to admit, because this is who put it on you. This comes from Margaret Sanger. So think about a person that would spend all of this time, money, and go everywhere from to and fro, getting funding and resources to make sure that you put a plan in place to exterminate foundational Black American freedmen in America. But here we are in 2024 with this person's radical feminist. Well, is this misandry being played out? This is violence coming from intersectionality. Out of feminism, this is born. And never forget the most important part, that she is politicians. So next to a president or a governor or a mayor that can dictate the future of your days, you're worried about us. And that she's talking about men, but she goes blanket statement when talking about us. So women, don't think that excludes you. That includes you too. Because you know how you know? Because the high school student that she deleted was a Mexican female. Like I said, can't find one of us, the next minority will do. So she proved her point by getting the next best thing is in her mind. And at the time, because time is short, well, look like you get it today, burrito. Blah-blah. I mean, you better know how these people operate, man. And these might be people they was talking to every day and whatnot. Because from what I understand, she was like she was part of the school. Because obviously she was in study hall. They would have kicked her out if she didn't belong there. So again, at a Christian school that in this environment, why does she have such a hatred for Black people? Maybe that is something from her society that her community has perpetuated. Where has she gotten the come out and harm Black people thing? See, we've seen this before when these people wrote these things on their weapons, have we not? What's different? And here it is, birthed in feminism. Yikes. Now I will continue. This is my mission. Only when their parasitic sludge has been expunged from this earth then the world will be clean and women can start over. It's the only way. In approximately 10 minutes, C should be deceased. So whoever that is, S.I. or maybe that was going to be somebody. I don't know what that meant. But C is going to be dead. It's strange, but it feels good. Yikes. It's strange, but it feels good. There's only one group singled out here, and everybody trying to talk about that's why that, well, man, maybe she was bullied, you know? I mean, man, you know, man, maybe she was like going through some things, you know, man, maybe she has like mental episode. No, this manifesto is very clear. It's not up for interpretation. And so this is why I have another gentleman on the screen who they are now labeling a terrorist. I would just want to know why he gets labeled a terrorist and none of these other types do. They run into a school with a weapon, not labeled a terrorist. They have a manifesto, not labeled a terrorist. This guy goes and dusts off a CEO early morning. He's a terrorist. He actually deletes a guy with somebody else in front of, right there on the scene, and does not choose to turn his weapon on that individual. So was not looking to inflict mass harm. Had a target, executed that target. I don't know where that gets into terrorism. He didn't threaten anybody else. He went and got one person. That's it. I don't know how that translates to terrorism. There's so many other things that have been done to Black folks here in America that can be called terrorism. And this ain't it. So I just put him up there for reference because the spirit of vigilantism, the Daniel Pennyism, the George Zimmermanism, and old Killer Kyle Rittenhouse-isms, you know, these things are very much out here. So let me touch on this article real quick. It says, Natalie Samantha Rapnoe's parents under investigation for a Wisconsin shooting. This is coming from the Daily Mail, written by Sonia Gugliara. And it says the parents of Abundant Life school shooter Samantha Rapnoe, or Natalie Samantha Rapnoe, are being investigated for any negligence they may have been guilty of that could have led to the atrocity. Authorities raided Rapnoe's home, Wisconsin home after Monday morning's tragedy and Natalie's father has been reportedly compliant with the ongoing investigation. Investigators have been trying to figure out if the mass shooter's parents, Jeff and Melissa, had involvement or contributed to Natalie's actions, which left 2 people dead and 6 injured before she shot and deleted herself. We also want to look at if the parents may have been negligent. Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said about Natalie's parents. He added, the parents had been cooperating and there was no indication of a crime so far. But Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway said Tuesday it was far too early to say if Jeff and Melissa will dodge charges. We don't know nearly enough yet, the mayor inserted. Police have been looking into how the 15-year-old killer got her hands on the gun she used when she wreaked havoc on the Catholic school. Federal and state laws generally outlaw under someone or generally outlaws anyone under 18 from possessing a firearm. But Wisconsin's law has an exception. Minors may be allowed to have a gun if they are using it for target practice or target practice under adult supervision for use in the armed forces or for hunting. But Barnes said no child should be able to obtain any fatal weapons. He said, I don't believe that 15-year-olds should have access to weapons that they can bring to school and potentially hurt someone. It makes logical sense to me. It goes on. We really have to do a better job, not only in our communities, but in our country, and making sure that our young folks don't have access to weapons and firearms, and certainly making sure that we're paying attention to the mental health of our children. How about you pay attention to how you are socially raising your individual to act with the world? See what they keep trying to do? They keep trying to get away from the truth that little girl was this. This is this. You understand? So when you see this type of hatred, couple that with what you see here, and she's a fan of school shooters. And then can we look at the mom's shirt? Who remembers Colorado? Once again, Aurora, the theater for the Batman movie. Remember? See, and so it's not a coincidence that she has that shirt on. That's really strange. But people worship these school shooting supremacists, the shooters, if you will. They really be idolizing these people. And as you see, this girl wasn't even alive when them folks was deleting them other people and deleting themselves. She wasn't even alive. So why would she be idolizing somebody who was already gone before she came around? Well, on flanking both sides of her would be one good solid reason. And so there's no patriarchy here. This was ridiculous. Okay, so in August, Jeff shared a photo on Facebook of a child. It is unconfirmed if it is Natalie or not, practicing at a gun shooting range wearing a shirt resembling the one worn by the Columbine shooters. See, this is the thing. Her parents was already pushing her into this type of stuff. Same thing with Ethan Crumley. And they just have a email or a text thread to prove it. Natalie reportedly had a rocky home life and was forced to move from home to home as a result of her parents' turbulent marriage. The teen went through several rounds of therapy, and her parents divorced and remarried several times, according to the Washington Post. Wow. Jeff and Melissa has divorced 3 times by July 22nd. I'm sorry, by July 2022. The parents agreed to share custody of Natalie, but would live with Jeff most of the time. Wow. Records show her therapy at this time was to help her decide which parent to spend weekends with. Despite the reported familial struggles, Jeff's Facebook page is flooded with seemingly happy memories of him and Natalie and Melissa. One photo shows him and Melissa bringing Natalie home from the hospital after she was born in 2009. In 2015, Jeff posted a photo of him and Natalie on the beach. 2 years later, him and Melissa were pictured at one of Natalie's martial arts competitions. Another post shows Natalie playing with 2 dogs in a pile of autumn leaves. That's the picture like TMZ done shown y'all with her hugging the dogs. That is crazy. An alleged manifesto by Natalie, which has not been confirmed if it's legitimate or not by police, has been circulating online. Barnes said on Tuesday, "We have been made aware of the manifesto, if you want to call it that, or some type of letter that has been posted or by someone who alleges to be her friend. We haven't been able to locate that person yet, but that's something we're getting to work on today." All right, that's pretty much the bulk of that. So that's they're investigating them parents, and I'll say good. It's probably a good thing that they do, because there's way too much about these I'll do it myselfers. You understand what I'm saying? And this really needs to be looked at. Not her mental health. She wasn't having a mental health episode. She was having an anti-black attack. That's all that was. An anti-black attack. And so what this guy down here did is he had an anti-medical CEO attack. And so again, which vigilante is right? Which vigilante is wrong? But one thing we do know about this little 15-year-old girl is she was a supremacist. As you see her on the bottom, throwing up the sign while right before she's going to get ready to carry this action out. That was a horrific situation, and I think these parents gonna have to answer some real serious questions, and they should. It's crazy. These parents set their child up to go be a anti-black racist. Now you're not and here's the thing: how many black kids are even at that school? I mean, you're talking about an expensive Catholic school. Is she even around black people? But I hate them, and I've been craving to kill them. Oh man, that's the American tradition right there. That's the societal indictment of the day. Your blatant, inherent, generationally damning anti-blackness. And there ain't nothing y'all could really say about that. I don't want to hear about guns. I want to hear about that. Tell me about no guns. And so with that pretty much covers this topic. I just wanted to touch on this and give you my take on this. But before we go, there was on a completely unrelated topic. This is something totally different. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what's going out here in the hemisphere. Maybe they say it's the retrograde or whatnot. But there is a video that has surfaced of Dr. Umar. And, you know, Dr. Umar has been the perpetual Pan-African. You know what I'm saying? He's pushing it. You guys, man, we African, we African. Now he's moving on to a line that is talking about American indigenous Africans. This Negro has lost his mind, but at least he has to speak the truth. So let's hear Umar. Let's hear Umar Johnson talk to these Africans.
And poke their noses up and say things like American Africans are lazy. How is it that I just got here from Africa and my family only been here for 5 years and we own a business and I've gotten my doctorate and I'm teaching at a university. And what I often have to do to humble some of our African immigrant brothers and sisters, because it's not all of them, but to humble some of them who are of that mindset, I have to remind them the reason why you've done so well in such a short period of time is because you're not considered a threat to this country. If you ever get out of hand, your citizenship can be revoked. If you ever get out of hand, your green card can be snatched. If you ever get out of hand, you can be deported back to Africa. African immigrants are not a threat to the United States of America. But the indigenous American African who built the country is a threat. Because number one, the country owes us. They owe us. We're the only black people here that America owes something to, and they don't like that.
Indigenous American African or indigenous African? That's so confusing, Umar. I don't even understand it, but I get what you're saying, brother. But Lord, at that point, they're not African, brother. I mean, call the white Africans African too, then, if you're going to do that. Call the Asians that. Everybody needs to be African. Everybody need to be having African on their name if it's going to be that important for us. And right now, y'all see these people going ham, trying to, man, look at these black people. Who can you tell the difference? You can't tell which one is from Nigeria, which one is from America. Stop. Yes, we can. We most definitely can. And it's just amazing that that's literally the thing now. We got to let you know, like, hey, you know, guys, man, you know, you're black. We're African. We're all the same. We look the same. I can't tell the difference between you and me. Yes, we can. Yes, the hell we can. These people are nuts. So anyway, family, this is it's a huge statement. American tradition, teaching the young, raising them up, and then if they don't get their way, then they might turn into this. And looks like a lot of these people are about to be set free and vindicated, or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. But at the end of the day, the societal indictment is not just on the family, but on the media that is trying to keep people away from the extreme truth, which this comes from her page. You guys deleted, or the page was locked by the friend. So it's not like this was taken down by X. The page was still open and available. So I saw the page before it got taken down. So you know, this is real. So I hope that people understand. When we always tell you we ain't got no friends, and if she's telling you she's a female craving harming black folks, what does that say to y'all out there? You understand? Y'all keep them power tools at the ready. Because you got some folks that hate your guts out here. And they're being trained up in the way that their parents believe they should go, in the way of the gun, the sword, But I guess that's kind of the nature of the business when you live by the sword. So he who has an ear, let him hear. As Revelations will tell you. And maybe this is the reason why they feel there's a race war coming. Because the Bible actually prescribes, and these people consider themselves Christians. They like to thump the Bible. Well, the Bible does say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. I think you should relish in the fact, and I do mean you foundational Black Americans who have been tuning into this channel faithfully for years now, that when you see stuff like this, always rest in what we know. And that is, Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. And we're going to let it fall. And we are going to rise. Can you dig it? And I know there might be some hurt supremacists out there shadow watching and watching from the whatever basement they are looking at right now, watching this and saying, oh, that's race baiter. Oh, man, this isn't about race at all. Well, there's her words, buddy. There's her words, dude. And then she's over here. They're idolizing other anti-Black deleters. They're celebrating the people who went to school and deleted Black people. So I say, screw you. Screw your pumped up kick song. And everybody else who celebrates the death of my people. Now, there's some Black folks that see, man, we don't have to be all color and this and that. And we also have some of the folks that believe they can Christian themselves out of Blackness. You can't get yourself out of Blackness any more or any less than the Israelites could get out of their individual tribes. It took the white man to do that. And maybe you'll understand what I just said. So there will be people who, hey, brother, it ain't always about race. Maybe she has some other issues. And maybe if you're one of them ignorant Negroes that sit up there and always trying to make excuses for these sadistic anti-Black racists, well, first off, let me hit you off with this.
Sambo, Sambo, Sambo.
Secondly, understand as soon as you open your mouth, this is what we look like, or what you look like to us.
Buck dancing, shuffling, scratching, bootlicking, bamboozling, Uncle Tom Negro.
And so at the end of the day, if you subscribe and prescribe to foundational Black Americans that we should look at people like this when they have these manifestos that blatantly mention harming us, that we shouldn't be focused in on that being a problem. Well, let me tell you something. I speak for myself, beatzillapdx official, the beatzillapdx official show. Those of you in the chat, the grassroots, and the voices of new Black media. I'm sure I speak for all parties involved when I tell you that we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of
Absolutely. And so understand, family, we have to keep our heads on swivels because we got some lurking demons out. And they sending their children to school with anti-black sentiment on their heart. So, teach your children to keep safe. And all of this cell phone banning business in class, you might want to drop that whole notion right now, Johnny on the spot, because if it had not been for this little 7-year-old, 6-year-old, or 8-year-old girl, the second grader who called the police, this could have been a bigger tragedy. And because she had her phone, it wasn't. Stop trying to interfere with children and their parents. But there'll be some of y'all that go, well, man, that's funny for you to say. Oh, yeah, by the way, let me also say, I'm in agreement with, for as far as it comes down to the Dreamer situation. Illegal coming here to use what was meant for black folks while you'll never advocate for black folks. You can't get nothing out of me. Hashtag fire up the jet.
Happy birthday, we're celebrating you today. Like Dr. King holiday, we ain't gonna do any work today. Happy birthday today, it's your beautiful day. And we gonna party all day, like it's a freaking holiday.
And right now, you even got Umar Johnson talking with his head right. Understand, it's the home team first, and ain't nobody else owed a dime of what we're owed. We need to get our chips first and not be worried about another group at all. So when it comes down to our situation, it is hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Yes, indeed, family. So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or formerly known as X at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you could definitely do so by way of Cash App. That's $beatzillapdx at Cash App. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLA MUZAK at PayPal. And before we get out of here, let's go ahead and shout out our members. So first in the building is Dark Skin Brother. We have Moonrise, Here to You, Afro Troop TV, Muff Moon, Phantom Beat, Iron Will, Project Leroy, The Church of Black Power, Go Mac, Lady Effa, Crew Reality Grand Niggas, Simply Sandra, We Next, aka Dark Skin Brother, Coat Like Personality, Antithesis, Judah Israel, Key Prince, Faith Speaks Life, and Black Spider. Yes, indeed. So thank you. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on each and every one of you. I thank you so much for being members. And salute to all the members, past and present. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And we're now getting ready to get on up out of here. So we have the Dookie Jam in Jam tomorrow. So for those who are here in town, we will be at Alberta Street Pub. So that is where the end of the year Dookie Jam will be. Outside of that, you know how we get down with the funk. Improvisation. Straight off the dome. That's how you're supposed to do it when you're actually hosting a jam. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you who can't be here, then I guess you'll have to tune in next time we are live on this channel or video is uploaded. So make sure you have your notification bells on. So with that, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed night.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.